Dear parents and viewers, we know how much you want the best for your child. In our short film, we would like to give you some tips on pacifier and thumb sucking habits that can help you to support your child's optimal development. Already in the womb, your baby learns the sucking reflex, a natural ability that later helps them to sucking on the breast or on the baby bottle and gives them a feeling of security. Many babies also use a pacifier or suck their thumb or a finger to find comfort and satisfy their natural sucking urge. If your child shows an additional need to suck besides breastfeeding or bottle feeding, you could try offering him a pacifier as an alternative to thumb sucking. This should be seen only as a try, and you should be aware that this approach does not always lead to the desired result and that your child may not necessarily accept the pacifier. Why is this the case? And what does it mean for weaning? If we take a closer look at weaning, it becomes clear that there are fundamental differences between thumb sucking and the deliberate use of a pacifier. The thumb, which is always available, is a natural part of a child's self-soothing behavior and is often used unconsciously in everyday life. This constant presence means that thumb sucking becomes firmly established in the daily routine. It develops into a reflex behavior that occurs without conscious decision and is therefore difficult to control. In contrast, a pacifier is an external sedative, the use of which can be precisely controlled. Parents can decide when to offer the pacifier, how often and for how long it is used. This targeted intervention lets you use it in a structured way, gradually introducing the child to alternative ways to self-soothe. If a pacifier is used consciously and situationally, the weaning process can be clear and targeted. Not every unquiet baby necessarily needs a pacifier or to suck his thumb constantly. There are many loving ways to calm your little ones. Sometimes it is enough to breastfeed your baby or give him attention and close physical contact. Speech therapists and orthodontists often criticize the intensive and prolonged use of pacifiers or thumb sucking because this can have an impact on speech development and tooth alignment. For a healthy physical and linguistic development, pacifiers are unnecessary. However, one important exception are premature babies. In their case, a specially designed pacifier can promote sucking development and contribute specifically to maturation. In such cases, a pacifier offers veritable benefits by helping premature babies develop the necessary sucking reflex. Let us now consider the consequences of excessive pacifier use. In certain situations, a pacifier can be a good aid. However, if it is used too often or for too long time, it can have negative consequences. If a pacifier is used for a long time, your child's bite may develop unfavorably. This is referred to as an sucking-related open bite. An open bite has several disadvantages. An open bite can significantly affect your child's eating behavior. Normally, the upper and lower incisors meet precisely to effectively bite off solid food and cut it into bite-sized pieces. However, with an open bite, there is a gap between the teeth. As a result, even soft food is not chewed properly and hard or crunchy food becomes a real challenge. When the mouth cannot be closed properly due to a sucking-related open bite, children often breathe through their mouths. This means that the teeth are not adequately bathed in saliva and are therefore more susceptible to tooth decay. In addition, mouth breathing is often associated with more frequent upper respiratory tract infections. Your child's speech development can also be impaired by an open bite, as the position of the tongue plays a decisive role in this. With an open bite, the tongue is normally pushed into the gap between the upper and low incisors. This unnatural position interferes with normal speech. The tongue is one of the most important instruments for forming sounds and pronouncing words. Normally, when the mouth is closed, the tongue rests against the palate, stimulating the growth of the upper jaw. This contact acts like a small, constant impulse that allows the upper jaw to grow healthily. Unfortunately, with an open bite, this impulse is insufficient, which can lead that the upper jaw does not develop optimally. To minimize these negative effects, it is important to choose a pacifier in a more favorable shape. Here are a few tips. Pacifiers with a wide, thick nipple and hard material are not recommended. They can impair the development of teeth and jaws and increase the risk of malocclusion. Pacifiers with a narrow, flat, and soft nipple are better as they exert less pressure on the teeth and jaw and they adapt well to the child's mouth. A pacifier should not grow with your child. Therefore, always choose the smallest pacifier. Did you know that as your child grows older, his innate sucking reflex gradually becomes a habit? Experts recommend that babies should be weaned off pacifiers by their second birthday at the latest. Once your child starts to speak properly and feels secure in his environment, then it is a good time to gradually reduce the use of pacifier. But don't worry, weaning your child off a pacifier can actually be a gentle process without any major drama. The weaning process is often quicker and smoother than you might expect. It is important to work with your child and everyone involved in his care and find a suitable time to wean him off the pacifier and to do it consistently. Playful approaches such as stories about pacifier fairies or giving the pacifier to a pacifier tree can also make the transition less stressful and more enjoyable. A well-planned weaning strategy that has been agreed with your child has proven in many cases to be particularly successful. Finally, here are a few practical tips on how you can gently control pacifier use. Give your child a pacifier only once you have established a stable breastfeeding routine. As soon as your child starts to speak properly, it is a good idea to gradually reduce its use. Ideally, your child should be completely weaned off the pacifier by his second birthday at the latest. Use the pacifier only if it really helps to calm your child, and remove it as soon as your child falls asleep. Set fixed times when the pacifier should not be used, for example, during playing or while talking, so that the mouth can develop naturally during these times. Make sure that the pacifier is not constantly available by not attaching it to the clothes with a chain. Constant availability often encourages increased use. Always use the smallest pacifier size available that fits your child. This leaves enough space for the tongue and the growing teeth. Thank you for taking such good care of your child's dental health. Discover more exciting videos and detailed information about oral and dental health for babies and toddlers on our website at agz-rnk.de. Together, we ensure that every child starts his future with a healthy smile and a positive outlook on life. Goodbye and stay healthy.